Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Isabella, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 20 tips that can help you earn more being an Uber Eats driver. So before we get started, I just wanted to mention this awesome tablet you can get for your car if you're a rideshare driver. It's called Octopus Interactive, and they actually equip Uber and Lyft drivers with a tablet that can go in their car in front of the back seat, and it has a high definition screen that can engage riders and have them like play games, check the weather, different things like that. You can actually earn an extra $100 a month using this tablet, so be sure to check that out. There's a link in the description if you want to add a tablet to your car for your passengers. Alright, so let's get started with these 20 tips for Uber Eats drivers. Tip number 1 is that you want to drive at the right times. There's certain time frames where you make a little bit more money. There's usually like a rush of people that are ordering food. So maybe during like lunchtime during the week, about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m, there's usually a lunch rush where a lot of people are ordering food to either their workplace or at home. And then also around dinner time and late at night, like 5 p.m. to 11 p.m, a lot of people are ordering food, and then obviously on weekends. Tip number 2 is that you want to track your mileage. This is really important for when you're filing taxes and you want to do tax returns, so you can get some money back for all the expenses that you have when you're doing these like gig apps. There's a lot of good apps that can actually track your mileage for you. There's Everlance, MileIQ is a good one, also TripLog, and there's a bunch of other apps you can check out if you'd rather use one of those. But yeah, be sure to track your mileage. Tip number 3 is to always have really good customer service. You want to keep good communication with the person you're delivering to, so maybe just shoot them a little message that you have their order when you pick it up, or you know, if there's any delays, you can let them know that. And always be sure to like add extras to the bag, like extra napkins, utensils, condiments if they have any, so that the customer is always satisfied when they get their delivery. Tip number 4 is that you want to wait in areas with a high density of restaurants and people. That way you'll get an order really fast and you can kind of just see like what kinds of restaurants are around. You might want to stay away from fast food because that is usually like not really worth it for you because it's really cheap and it can take a long time to get your food. It's actually like not that fast, so it's always good to stay where there's a lot of restaurants around. Tip number 5 is to double up on apps. The reason this is important is because it's always good to have multiple accounts on different delivery driving apps if you're wanting to take delivery driving really seriously. And what you can do is that you can actually have 2 apps open at the same time, and you can wait for whichever one gets a better order or where you get an order first. And then while you're doing that delivery, you can shut the other app off, and when you're finishing that delivery, you can turn the other app on, so you get orders back to back and there's never any like downtime where you're kind of just sitting around waiting for the next order to come. My 6th tip is to work during bad weather if you're up for it. I know a lot of times people are more inclined to order food when the weather is bad outside because they don't really want to go out and drive to get food. So if you're the one driving and getting the food when there's bad weather, they might even give you an extra tip just because you put in the effort, you know, doing their order and delivering when it's like raining outside or the weather is just really bad and everyone wants to stay inside. Tip number 7 is to make sure you store your hot and cold foods properly. It's definitely worth it to get a cooler and an insulated bag. That way the food can stay in as good condition as possible when you deliver it to the person that ordered from you, and then there's less of a chance of them complaining about, you know, their food being cold or their food being melted if it was already cold. So it's always good to just make sure everything is well kept. Tip number 8 is to try delivering by bike or by walking if it's like super close. If you're in a pretty like compact area where there's a lot of people, a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of traffic, it's sometimes faster to just bike. So that way you also save gas and you get a little bit of exercise, and you can really just complete your deliveries faster rather than just being stuck in traffic. So yeah, this is good for those short deliveries. Tip number 9 is to accept stacked orders when it's appropriate. So you want to make sure your stacked orders are like relatively along the way from each other, because if you're going to be making a huge detour to deliver to one person before delivering to the next person, the person that's last to get their order delivered to them is probably going to be annoyed that it took so long for their food to come. It just makes more sense to go and drop off orders that are like along the way from each other. And if you didn't know, a stacked order is just when you do like 2 orders at the same time, basically. Tip number 10 is to do challenges. So Uber Eats actually has like quest promotions, and it'll be something like if you complete 100 deliveries, you get an extra $200. That's just an example. They have a bunch of different quests that you can do, so be sure to take advantage of that. It's kind of just like a fun little game they have on the app to encourage delivery drivers to do more deliveries. Tip number 11 is to use referral codes. If you know of anyone that wants to start getting into delivery driving and they want to start using Uber Eats, or maybe you have friends who are kind of looking for little side hustles, you can encourage them to use your referral code so you can both make a little bit of extra money. It's really just good for everyone. Tip number 12 is to check out WRAPIFY. If you don't know what WRAPIFY is, they basically wrap your car for you with an advertisement and you get paid per mile. So you're really just like a traveling billboard in a sense. So it's a really cool way to just like passively make a little bit of extra money. And some people are even making up to like an extra $500 a month from just driving their car. And if you're already a delivery driver, chances are you're gonna be driving a lot of miles within a month, so you could definitely make a little bit of extra money doing that. Tip number 13 is to try to avoid delivering to students. I know sometimes you can't really avoid this, or you might not know like if you are delivering to a student or not, but if you kind of stay away from like where there's university campuses or student housing, you can avoid delivering to students. Usually students are trying to save money, or they might not have a lot of money to be able to tip more, and sometimes they really like won't tip at all, so it's better to just try to avoid delivering to students if you do want to earn more. Tip number 14, I know this probably seems like common knowledge, but you should always double check your order. It's like something so simple that like you might not even think about it, which is why I added it to this video. So always double check your order. You don't want to like have missing items, because then the person you're delivering to might report you, and that can look bad for you and your account as a driver, and you could potentially get banned. So you definitely want to avoid that, and you want to make sure you're picking up the right order, because if you have the completely wrong order and you like just accidentally picked up someone else's order instead of the person you're delivering to, then that kind of creates problems for 2 different orders. So just always make sure you double check that. Tip number 15 is to try to do more short deliveries rather than long ones. You don't want to be driving like all over the place, getting out of the like high density restaurant zones that I was talking to you about. So maybe just set your boundaries to be a little bit smaller, so you're not like driving super far out. And if you do more deliveries within a short period of time, a lot of the time you'll be making more money per hour doing that. Tip number 16 is to look presentable. If you're gonna be handing the person the food rather than just like leaving it outside of their door if they request that, then you want to make sure you're not like in your pajamas, or like you don't have to really dress up, but at least like look a little bit put together and look nice, because like subconsciously, if you're just really looking like super unprofessional, like your hair's all messy, or like if you look like you just got out of bed, subconsciously the person might not want to tip you because of that. So it can help to just kind of like look a little bit more presentable when you're delivering the food. Tip number 17 is to learn what deliveries are worth it for you. You don't really want to accept orders that are like super cheap, like under $7, especially if it's far away, as I was talking about before. You want to consider the traffic, you want to consider like the reliability of the restaurants, because sometimes like if you know your area really well, you'll know which restaurants are notorious for like taking a really long time for their takeout orders. So it's always good to just be mindful of the orders that you're accepting. Tip number 18 is to make sure you have an excellent car for what you're going to be doing. You don't want a car that's going to be unreliable and potentially break down while you're on the job. That'll just create a ton of problems for you. So make sure that you have a car that is very reliable. And if you can, I mean, I know like if you already have a car, you can't really control this, but it's always good to have a car that's really fuel efficient, because you will be using a lot of gas doing all these deliveries. Tip number 19 is to join groups or different communities full of other Uber Eats drivers. So I know they have some on Facebook. There's like Facebook groups you can join, or maybe like Instagram group chats. But if you're talking to other people that are doing Uber Eats or like delivery driving, then you guys can kind of like get ideas from each other. It can just be like a place where you can meet other people that are doing the same thing as you. You can learn from each other, or even just like rant to each other. So it's always good to just have that like sense of community. And tip number 20 is to have a good profile picture. Like I said earlier about wanting to look presentable, I think if you have like a good solid photo for your profile picture, that's like good quality and you have a smile on your face and you just look really friendly, then the person that you're delivering to like subconsciously like may want to tip you more, or may just think that you're friendly if you look friendly in your picture. Because if you have a picture where you're not smiling and you just look really mean, or like maybe it's just a really poor quality photo, they might just like be less inclined to want to tip you. It's just like a kind of like a psychological thing. So it's just something to think about. Anyways, I hope that these 20 tips were helpful to you and that you'll be able to earn more being an Uber Eats driver. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Bye.